Doctor explains. 7 simple moves for intense female orgasms. Dr. Audrey Wells. Does opening a simple pickle jar feel like an Olympic event? Or do you find yourself holding your breath every time you have to get up from your favorite armchair? That quiet fear of a slip in the shower. It's a heavy weight to carry. Most people resign themselves to this thinking, well, that's just part of getting older. But after 30 years as a geriatric physician, I can tell you that is not the whole truth. The real culprit isn't the number of candles on your birthday cake. It shows you're fueling your body's engine. In fact, a groundbreaking 2022 study from the Journal of Gerontology showed that seniors over the age of 65 could increase their muscle strength by up to 25% in just 12 weeks. With 2 simple changes: no heavy weights, no complicated gym routines. Take my patient, John, a 72-year-old retired mailman. He was terrified of icy sidewalks and had stopped visiting his grandkids. He felt he was becoming a burden. Today, he's back to walking his dog 2 miles a day. I'm Dr. Audrey Wells, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to give you the exact step-by-step, medically grounded plan I gave to John. This isn't about becoming a bodybuilder. This is about reclaiming your independence and your peace of mind. All right, now that you understand the true battle we're fighting isn't against time itself, but against the loss of our physical foundation, let's build that foundation back up, brick by brick. We're going to start with principle number 1. And this is, without a doubt, the most important one. It's called fuel the engine, don't just fill the tank. Now, what am I talking about here? In one word: protein. I know. You've heard about protein your whole life. But here's a critical mistake, a huge misunderstanding that I see almost every single patient over the age of 60 make. They hear that protein is good for them, so they think, okay, I had a little bit of chicken with dinner last night, so I'm good to go. Or even more commonly, they fall into the trap of thinking that eating less, in general, is always healthier as we get older. They start skipping breakfast or just having a piece of toast, believing they're doing their body a favor by cutting calories. This can actually negate all of your efforts to stay strong. In some cases, it can even make things worse. It's like trying to build a house in the middle of a lumber shortage. You simply don't have the raw materials to do the job. So, why is protein so uniquely critical, so non-negotiable, for us as we move past 60, 70, and beyond? It comes down to a key biological process, a term called anabolic resistance. Now that sounds complicated, but I promise you the concept is simple. When you were 25 years old, your body was incredibly efficient. You could eat a hamburger, and your body would immediately get to work, using the protein from that meal to repair and build muscle fibers. It was an efficient, well-oiled machine. But as we age, that machine, it gets a little less efficient. Our bodies become more resistant to the signals that protein sends. This means that the same amount of protein that easily triggered muscle growth in your younger years now barely moves the needle. To get the same muscle-building response, you actually need more protein, and you need it delivered more strategically. Your body needs a stronger signal, a louder wake-up call to tell it, hey, we need to build and repair here. Don't let these muscles go. And this isn't just a theory I came up with. This is backed by extensive, rigorous science. A landmark recommendation published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, one of the most respected publications in my field, laid this out clearly. Their panel of experts analyzed all the available data and concluded that to fight off age-related muscle loss, seniors should consume between 1.2 to 1.5 grams of protein for every kilogram of their body weight. Now, let me put that into perspective for you. The standard recommended dietary allowance, the RDA that most people hear about, is only 0.8 grams per kilogram. The science is telling us that people over 60 need up to nearly double that amount just to maintain what they have. This provides powerful evidence that the old rules simply don't apply anymore. To make this even clearer, I want you to think of it with this analogy. Imagine your muscles are a brick wall. This wall is your strength, your stability, your independence. Every day, a few bricks get a little loose or cracked. That's normal wear and tear. Now exercise, like the walking and simple movements we'll discuss later. That's the bricklayer. The bricklayer is ready and willing to go to work, to replace the old bricks and shore up the wall. But protein is the mortar. It's the cement that holds everything together. If you don't supply your bricklayer with enough mortar, he can stand there all day. But he cannot repair the wall. He can't make it stronger. In fact, without that mortar, the wall will inevitably start to crumble, no matter how hard the bricklayer tries to work. That is what happens when you don't get enough protein. Your body simply cannot rebuild the strength you're losing. So the next logical question is, how can you incorporate this into your routine, safely and effectively, without having to eat giant, expensive steaks for every meal? It's much simpler than you think. The goal, based on the research, is to aim for about 25 to 30 grams of protein with each meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This steady supply provides your body with the consistent flow of materials it needs. Let's talk about breakfast, the meal where most people fall short. That piece of toast and jam, maybe 4 grams of protein. A bowl of cornflakes, maybe 5 or 6 grams. It's not enough to even wake up the bricklayer. But what if you switch that toast for a container of plain Greek yogurt? That's about 17 to 20 grams right there. Add a handful of almonds and you're easily at 25 grams. Or consider adding a scoop of simple, high-quality whey protein powder to a bowl of oatmeal. 1 scoop can add over 20 grams of the highest quality protein you can get for about $1 a serving. It's a simple, cost-effective insurance policy for your muscles. Another easy option? 2 hard-boiled eggs. Simple, cheap, and packed with around 12 grams of protein. The key here is consistency. Start with breakfast. Make it a non-negotiable part of your day. I had a patient, a wonderful woman named Carol, who was 68 years old. She came to me because she was just so tired all the time. Her story was that she loved her grandkids more than anything, but she felt a deep sadness because she only had the energy to sit on the couch and watch them play. She told me, her voice cracking a little, "I feel like I'm watching my life from the sidelines." We looked at her diet and it was a classic case. A little bit of toast for breakfast, a small salad for lunch, and a sensible dinner. She was trying to be healthy. The very first thing we did, the only thing we changed for the first 2 weeks, was her breakfast. She switched from toast to a bowl of Greek yogurt with berries and a sprinkle of nuts. She came back a month later, and when I asked her how she was feeling, she didn't just tell me. She showed me. She got a huge smile on her face and said, "Dr. Wells, last weekend, my grandson was building a fort with pillows on the floor, and for the first time in years, I got right down on the floor and played with him." For her, that was everything, and she discovered a wonderful synergy. She found that starting her day with that protein-rich meal gave her the vitality to go for a short walk in the afternoon, which in turn helped her sleep better at night. One small change created a powerful positive cascade. That is the power of fueling your engine correctly. It's not just about muscle. It's about having the strength and energy to participate fully in your own life. It's a small tweak, but it made a world of difference for her. And I am confident it can do the same for you too. So, if this mortar analogy makes sense to you, if you understand why this is so critical, go down to the comments right now and just type the word fuel. It's a way of making a small commitment to yourself, that you're ready to give your body the materials it truly needs. So now that we've laid the groundwork, now that we understand the absolute necessity of supplying your body with the right fuel, with high-quality protein, it's time to put that fuel to work. It's time to send a signal to your muscles. And that brings us to principle number 2. This one is elegantly simple, yet profoundly powerful. I call it, master the most important movement of your day. What is this incredibly important movement? Is it lifting a heavy weight? Is it running a mile? No, it's something you already do dozens of times every single day. I'm talking about the sit to stand. Yes, simply the act of getting up out of a chair. But here is the critical, and I mean critical, mistake that millions of people make every single time they stand up. As they begin to feel a little less stable, a little weaker in the legs, they start to compensate. They put their hands on the armrests or on their knees, and they push themselves up. Or maybe they do that little rocking motion, you know the one, where you use momentum to kind of throw yourself forward and upward. Every time you do that, you are not just making the movement easier. You are actively robbing your body of its single best opportunity to maintain its strength. You are telling the largest, most important muscles in your body that they don't need to work anymore. And a muscle that isn't told to work is a muscle that withers away. It's a quiet surrender, happening multiple times a day, without you even realizing the long-term cost. So why is this one single movement so disproportionately important? Why do I focus on this with nearly every patient who walks into my office worried about their strength and independence? The sit-to-stand movement specifically targets the largest and most powerful muscles in your entire body. I'm talking about your glutes, the muscles in your backside, and your quadriceps, the big muscles on the front of your thighs. These aren't just vanity muscles. These are the engines of your mobility. They are what allow you to walk with a steady gait. They power you up a flight of stairs. They are what catch you and stabilize you if you trip, preventing a fall. And critically, they are the muscles that allow you to get up off the floor if you do fall. The strength of these specific muscles is one of the most significant predictors of a person's ability to live independently as they age. When they go, independence is often not far behind. And this is not just my clinical opinion. This is a hard fact, proven in clinical research. A powerful study published in the Physical Therapy Journal, a leading peer-reviewed publication in the field of rehabilitation, investigated this very thing. The researchers didn't look at complex variables. They looked at one simple metric: how many times a person could perform a sit-to-stand movement unassisted in 30 seconds. Their findings were unambiguous. They found a direct linear correlation between the number of unassisted sit-to-stands a person could do and their risk of falling. Fewer repetitions meant a higher risk. But even more importantly, they found it was a powerful predictor of a person's overall level of functional independence. This provides undeniable evidence that this simple movement is a literal measure of your ability to take care of yourself. Here's the analogy I want you to hold in your mind. I want you to think of your freedom, your ability to live in your own home, on your own terms, as an independence bank account. Every single time you stand up from a chair correctly, using only the power of your legs and your core, you are making a small deposit into that account. It might feel like just a penny at a time, but those pennies add up, compounding day after day, building a powerful financial cushion of strength. But every time you use your hands to push off, every time you use momentum to heave yourself up, you are making a withdrawal. You are draining your account. And if you keep making those withdrawals, day after day, year after year, you will eventually find that your account is empty. That is a state of bankruptcy we must avoid at all costs. So how do we do this correctly? How do you turn this mundane, everyday movement into a powerful act of rebellion against weakness? It's very simple, and you can start the very next time you stand up. I want you to find a sturdy chair. A dining room chair is perfect. Please, not a soft couch or a low recliner. Sit at the very edge of the chair with your feet planted firmly on the floor about shoulder width apart. Now, instead of putting your hands on the armrests, I want you to cross your arms over your chest. This is your starting position. From here, lean forward just a little bit, keeping your back straight. Feel the weight shift to your feet, then driving through your heels, not your toes, but your heels. Squeeze your glute muscles and stand up, slowly, with complete control. Then, just as importantly, reverse the motion. Control your descent as you slowly sit back down. Don't just flop back into the chair. The slow, controlled lowering is just as crucial as the standing up. That's 1 repetition. When you're just starting, I want you to aim for 5. Just 5 controlled, perfect repetitions. Let's go back to my patient, John, the 72-year-old retired mailman I mentioned earlier. Remember, he was terrified of falling on the ice. When he first came to see me, this was the only exercise I gave him for the first week. 5 sit-to-stands, unassisted. That was his entire program. And he discovered a brilliant synergy, a way to make it effortless. He was a big fan of old TV westerns, and he told me he made a new rule for himself. Every single time the show went to a commercial break, he would get up and do his 5 sit-to-stands. He wasn't exercising. He was just following his new rule. Within 2 weeks, he called my office. He told my nurse, with a real sense of pride in his voice, "Tell Dr. Wells that I walked to the end of my driveway to get the mail today. I wasn't afraid." That is what this is all about. That small deposit made consistently built the foundational strength, and just as importantly, the confidence he needed to start reclaiming his life. It's a small tweak, but it made a world of difference for him, and I know it can for you too. So I'm asking you now, are you ready to stop making withdrawals? Are you ready to start making deposits into your own independent bank account? If you are, I want you to go to the comments section right now and type the word ready. It's a declaration, a commitment to yourself that from this day forward, you will master this movement and protect your future. We've now covered 2 essential pillars for rebuilding your strength. We've talked about fueling your engine correctly with adequate protein, giving your body the raw materials it needs. And we've talked about mastering the single most important movement of your day, the sit-to-stand, to send a clear signal to your largest muscles that they are still very much needed. But there is a third principle that ties these 2 together. It's the glue. It's the element that transforms good intentions into real, lasting results. This is principle number 3, and it may be the most liberating one of all. It's the philosophy that consistency wins over intensity. I want to be very clear about what this means. This is about creating a simple, repeatable routine that becomes as automatic as brushing your teeth. Now, here is the classic tragic mistake I see so many well-intentioned people make. They get a burst of motivation. They decide, this is it, I'm going to get back in shape. So they go out and they do a big 30-minute workout. They push themselves hard. The next day, every muscle in their body is screaming in pain. They're exhausted. They can barely move for 2 days. And that initial burst of motivation, it evaporates. The thought of putting themselves through that again is just too much. So they stop. And a week or 2 later, they're right back where they started, feeling even more discouraged than before. This all-or-nothing approach, it is the enemy of progress, especially as we get older. It can lead to burnout. It can lead to feelings of failure. And worse, it can lead to injury, setting you back even further. So why is a consistent, gentle approach so much more effective than these sporadic, intense bursts of effort? The reason is rooted in how our bodies, and specifically our nervous systems, adapt as we age. The process of building and maintaining muscle isn't just about the muscle fibers themselves. It's also about the communication highway between your brain and your muscles. This is your neuromuscular system. For a muscle to contract strongly and for you to maintain good balance, your brain has to send a clear, strong signal down your spinal cord, through your nerves, to that specific muscle. As we age and become less active, these signal pathways, they can get a little rusty. The signal isn't as clear or as fast as it used to be. Frequent, gentle stimulation, doing small movements every day, acts like a daily maintenance crew for this communication highway. It keeps those neural pathways clear, open, and efficient. Infrequent, intense workouts, on the other hand, are like sending a massive convoy down a rusty, overgrown road once a month. It's stressful on the system, and it doesn't do much to improve the road for daily traffic. And the science on this is absolutely fascinating. Research on neuromuscular adaptation, which is the study of how the connection between the brain and muscles changes, has shown this time and again. Studies demonstrate that daily low-impact movements are significantly more effective at creating and maintaining the neural pathways responsible for balance and strength than sporadic heavy workouts are. It's the frequency of the signal, not just the intensity, that tells the brain, this pathway is important. Keep it strong, keep it fast. I have an analogy that I think makes this crystal clear. Think of building strength not like cramming for an exam, but like learning a new language. If you wanted to learn Spanish, would it be more effective to lock yourself in a room for 3 hours every Saturday and drill vocabulary until your head hurts? Or would it be more effective to practice for just 5 minutes every single day? We all know the answer. The person who practices for 5 minutes a day will become fluent far faster. Why? Because the daily practice builds the neural pathways. It makes the connections automatic. It becomes a part of who you are. Cramming for a test is a short-term strategy that leads to long-term forgetting. Building strength is the same. So how do we apply this? How do we build this effortless consistency into our lives without it feeling like a chore? The secret is a technique called habit stacking. Instead of trying to find a new time in your day for exercise, you simply link these small movements to habits you already have. You stack the new habit on top of an old one. Let me give you some concrete examples. Do you make a pot of coffee or tea every morning? I'm sure you do. While you are standing there, waiting for it to brew. That is the perfect time to do 10 simple calf raises. Just rising onto your toes, holding for a second, and slowly lowering back down. Stack it on top of your coffee habit. What about brushing your teeth? You do it twice a day, every day. After you finish brushing, while you're still standing at the sink, do 5 gentle wall push-ups. Just place your hands on the wall and press. It takes 20 seconds. Stack it onto your dental hygiene habit. Remember the sit to stand from our last principle? What is a habit you have every day? Watching the evening news. Every time the program goes to a commercial, do your 5 sit to stands. You link the action to a trigger that already exists. This removes the need for willpower. It removes the need for motivation. It just becomes what you do. This is the secret sauce. It's not about finding time. It's about linking the actions. This consistency is what truly brings everything together. Think about the synergy here. You start your day with a protein-rich breakfast following principle number 1. You are giving your body the mortar it needs. Then, throughout the day, you perform these small, stacked movements, following principles 2 and 3. You are consistently activating the bricklayer. The consistent signal from the movements tells your body that it needs to hold onto its muscle. And the consistent supply of protein gives your body the exact material it needs to obey that signal. One without the other is inefficient, but together, they create a powerful, self-reinforcing cycle of strength and vitality. It's a small tweak in approach, but it can make a world of difference for you. You stop seeing this as a workout you have to endure, and you start seeing it as a natural part of your day, a simple investment in your own future, as automatic as turning on the lights when you enter a room. That is the ultimate goal: effortless, automatic, and powerfully effective. So let's quickly bring everything together. We've uncovered 3 core principles to reclaiming your strength. First, fuel the engine with consistent, high-quality protein. Second, master the sit to stand, the single most important movement for your independence. And third, always remember that consistency beats intensity every single day. But as I always say, knowledge without action is just entertainment. So here is your simple doctor's order for the next 7 days. 1. Add just 1 high-protein food to your breakfast tomorrow morning. 2. Perform 5 slow, controlled sit-to-stands. 3. Do 5 gentle wall push-ups before you go to bed. That's it. The whole thing might take you less than 5 minutes. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Dr. Wells, my knees ache, or I'm just too tired. I hear you. I truly do. And that's precisely why we start with just 5. If 5 feels like too much, I want you to start with 1. Just 1. Because 1 is infinitely better than 0. The goal here is not perfection. It is progression. And please remember what this is really about. This isn't about exercise. This is about being able to lift your own groceries out of the car with confidence. It's about having the stability to walk across a wet floor without a surge of fear. Ultimately, it's about ensuring that you are the one who decides how you live your life, not your body. Your independence is worth fighting for, and the fight starts today. So if you are ready to take that first step, if you are ready to fight for your independence, I'm going to ask you to do 2 things for me right now. First, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our future science-backed advice. And second, and this is the most important part, go to the comment section and write 2 simple words. Day 1. This is your public commitment, a commitment to yourself, and a way to join a community of people who are on this very same journey. Thank you for investing your valuable time with me today. In my next video, I'll reveal the 3 common breakfast foods that could be secretly draining your energy throughout the day. You will not want to miss that one. Until then, remember, stay strong and stay independent.